Alright, simple opener, new look. There you go. For the new year, new me, I guess. I can't wait for my boss to make fun of this, but, I'm not in bad company. People that I looked up to as a kid that had this look are the amazing Jonathan and tennis players. So, yeah, I work out, yeah, yeah. Welcome, friends, Lost Guy fan. It's time for the vlog, and really, honestly, if you like the look, let me know. If you don't like the look, don't let me know. Well, honesty, I don't know. This is my last chance with this look, with these hair. If this don't work, I'll just cut it short again. I grew this out a year ago at this point. Yeah, I grew this out a year ago. Just look at a vlog from a year ago. My hair is, short as balls before it started growing out. The whole idea is just see how long it would take to get to Midoriya's hair. It takes 6 months. But I found it takes 6 months to get long enough to be Midoriya's hair, so I could do that if I ever wanted to cosplay that. I guess I can accurately cosplay Midoriya because I am also injured like that boy. Jesus. Okay, so quick vlog because I'm hungry. Things about the channel. So it's Happy New Year, everybody. So let's talk about New Year things of the channel, everything. So let's see here. Yeah, there's a topic about resolutions. That'll be the main thing at the end. So with the channel, newest podcast is with Titanium Steel, which is the new name for Spiff for the time being. He's doing a bit. We'll see how long that lasts. You know how Spiff be, those of you who've been around forever. We talk about Wonder Woman 1984, Wonder Woman 1. So, there have been that many movies. Tenet, and a bunch of movies in general, because Spiff is a movie person. So it's like movies for almost 3 hours. But there's a lot of spoils for Wonder Woman 1984 and Tenet, so Tenet's near the end, Wonder Woman's like the middle, and then it's just other things before that point. We also talk about the Mandalorian, but we don't spoil anything besides the teaser for Boba Fett, which was, my opinion is it's not cool to do a teaser for another show at the end of a show. I don't like that. I'm really not a fan of it. I find it disrespectful. Mandalorian ends on a really good note, and then you get a teaser for another show, and it just kind of just ruins the mood to me. If you're a fanboy, of course you love that, but I'd rather it was just a teaser on its own somewhere else. And just talk about, it's a big movie talk. It really is just a big movie talk for almost 3 hours. And I need to edit that, so we'll see. Editing for me with the podcast is just listening, and if there's just long pauses, cut those out. Or if there's like glitchiness or things like that, cut them out. Or if we have to take a break, cut it out. There was no break, we just went, so it should be an easy one, but I still got to sit there and listen to the whole thing, so I can make the topic list and everything for the podcast. And then I got to put it on YouTube, and then eventually I put it up on Podbean, and I got to work on getting the Podbean stuff going. Jeez, I own 2 podcasts, and I put money into those podcasts, so I should really be smarter about how I work those. And I'll get onto that more later. Other things going on, Kirby's Toy Box will get worked on soon, so I know it's been a couple months since we've done a Kirby episode, since we've been updating the old ones because what happened on YouTube, so we've been focusing on that. But some do a new Kirby one, it's been a couple months, so we'll do a new one, and we'll see how we go with that. Okay, that's all the podcast. Oh, one more thing for podcast news is basically a podcast trying again to just be serious and seriously try to get guests again and just try to get who I can, get artists, get content creators. The whole idea is interviewing creatives. That's really what it is. And the creative in just whatever field. So it's like, if I can get a hold of a writer, it'd be cool. Haven't done that. I've gotten a hold of plenty of artists. I've gotten like college artists, and I've gotten like artists who are just purely digital and taught themselves. So it'd be cool to just get artists in general again. I want to try to get a lute. Actually, I do know a lute artist. We've had her before, but we didn't talk about lute stuff because, I try to be general. Everyone can talk and listen kind of thing. But I am really considering tapping my my friends who are more in like OnlyFans and cam girl stuff. I'm really tempted to go that way, just to see what kind of conversation that could be. I'm curious about that. I also, of course, still want to talk to game devs, and I want to talk to UI people and UX, like UI UX people. I want to talk to game testers. I keep trying, but I can't get a hold of these kind of people. I also want to talk to composers of music again. That'd be cool, because there are some really good soundtracks in games. And there are just some game devs I want to talk to. I really want to talk to them and talk about how much I love their games. By the way, the One Shot Top 10 is out, and all the devs for those I want to talk to. For all those games, check that out, see what you think of the top 10 indie games I played for 2020. By the way, I played 347 indie games last year. And the vast majority were given to me by developers or publishers, which is important because imagine 147 games from prices as low as like $3 or $2, maybe even a $1 game, to as high as like $20, $30 something dollars for these indie games. Thankfully, I keep getting just codes from developers and publishers because I can't afford all that. That's not attainable. Jesus. So I'm thankful that I get copies from people, but you've seen that we only did like maybe less than 21 shots last year, when we usually do like double or 3 times that normally. And that's because I brought the bar up. I really brought the bar up on what I feel for quality. So there's a ton of Scarf research videos, but there's only like less than 21 shots from last year. And we'll see how many there are this year. I've already got one I want to do already for a game called Littlewood because I'm really enjoying it. It's from last year, but I'm enjoying it. I still have some other games you can check out from last year, like Calico. I know Calico had a bad Switch port. There were bugs on there, but on PC apparently it was really good. It's like this kind of like this cute kind of simmy game, so I'm curious about that. I have a copy. I gotta check that one out. And there's a bunch of other games I need to check out and see about developers. So really, I'm going from the most PG to the most R kind of guess, just to see, because I'm just curious. At the end of the day, I'm just curious about the creative process in just so many different ideas and different areas. So there is a creative process in OnlyFans. There's a creative process in camgirl stuff, and there's a management process in how to be successful in those things, or trying to be successful in those things. And that is interesting stuff to ask about. You can also ask personal questions about the people behind all these things, like to ask developers like what got them into developing, and the lessons they've learned from developing, because that's also an important thing, is lessons learned from these different people. And then of course there's just talking with the creatives that I'm friends with. So talking with Titanium Steel, talking with Mez, talking with Verbal. Like we really talk more game news with Verb. And just talking with friends about topics is also a thing. So you've got like these interesting random guests, and you've got interesting friends, just seeing what's going on with them and everything. And that's something I want to do, and I'm going to be trying to just get more guests and talk more for the podcast, for basically a podcast. Well, the Kirby podcast, it's still going the way it's going because we still have to catch up with the old stuff since the copyright stuff happened. Things with the channel, the vlogs are still happening. There wasn't a vlog last week because, holidays and all that. Figure you can take a break there. There's the weekly StarCraft. Now here's what's going to get changed. Last year we wanted to do a big project, and that was going to be Gundam Wing Abwinged, Gundam Wing Abridged, and we want to call it Abwinged, which gets really tongue-tied somehow. And that was the thing we wanted to do, and we weren't able to do it for multiple reasons. One was just busyness. My back injury was a really big problem. And Jinx got a job. So, well, Jinx has had a job for a while, but the job has definitely made it that she can't do as much. So, we don't have as much time as we used to work on things. There's been a lot of like random LPs on the side channel because we're just doing stuff. But the main LPs on the main channel have been really solid. I really like the main LPs we did. I've been really happy with them. The voice LPs were really strong. I'm very happy with the voice LPs from last year. So I still want to do things like that. There were LPs that were fun, but they didn't have to happen. Like the Hardcore Link, Breath of the Wild was fun, but didn't have to happen. There's some LPs that just didn't have to happen. So I was just like, we'll fill this gap until the next LP we want to do. So this year, we're going to try something different. That is, after a big LP, we'll take a break to do a big project. Whatever that big project is, maybe a big project would be like a big gaming episode for Kirby with the podcast, or this or that. We'll take breaks between the big LPs to do some other projects. So hopefully this year we can do a big project like a Winged or something like that. And then we'll go back to another LP and then do another big project. That's the idea we want to go with. So it frees up Jinx to be able to work on that stuff. And if I'm just itching to do an LP, I'll just LP on the side channel some games that we wouldn't go on the main channel anyway. But we're still going to do voice LPs eventually. The next voice LP should be Professor Layton, fourth or fifth game. I forget which game we're at now. I think we're at the fifth game. Yeah, we're at the fifth game. So whatever the fifth Layton game is, that'll be the next voice LP. And after Layton is gonna be an RPG. And here's the question. What is that RPG gonna be? I'll put the vote up eventually. But the options I'll put out there, and I already know the first two are the ones that are getting the most attention, and then I don't know about the rest, but Super Mario RPG, that's going to get a lot of attention, and FF6, that's going to get a lot of attention. I don't know who wins that vote. FF6, Super Mario RPG. Those are both very popular ones. We're not doing FF7 anytime soon. FF7's coming in years, because FF7 I want to do when I've hammered down a good enough voice for Aerith and a good enough voice for Tifa, because they talk way too much. While a little girl voice just goes for, what is his name? Barrett's daughter? What is her name? Barrett's daughter gets a little girl voice, of course. And that little girl voice probably goes to Yuffie as well, because of course she's going to get that voice. So it's between FF6 and Super Mario RPG. Now, an RPG I want to do that's not going to happen for a while is going to be Shining Force 1 and 2. Eventually Shining Force 1, then eventually 2. I love the Shining Force games. If you're a Sega player, you know what these were. Shining Force were really good games. I love them to bits. There's a ton of characters to voice. Ton of characters to have fun with. And it's kind of it's a mostly serious, but really has a bunch of little funny moments and creative ideas in those games. Like early on in one, I'm just gonna tell this. Early on in one of the levels, there's a portal going up and up and up towards like the sky, because the princess got kidnapped. She got taken through the portal, and like these two old guys are like, okay, well, we can't jump that high. I got an idea. Let's grab the hero. So they grab the hero, and he's just like, what? Huh? They just grab him by the legs and by the arms, and then they run back, and then they run up, and then they throw him into the air at the portal. He's like, whoa, what? He just gets thrown up there. He's like, you can do it, you make it. And then that's just a funny situation in Shining Force 2. There's a bunch of fun things like that. There's some fun characters. And there's some good story moments. And what I really like about Shining Force 2, I don't know if I want to spoil this actually. No, I will. Eventually, it's just like Super Mario RPG. Eventually, you save the princess and she joins the party, which I like. I like it when the damsel becomes a fighter. I always like when a damsel becomes a fighter instead of just being the damsel the whole time. That's something I enjoy. Super Mario RPG does it, and Shining Force 2 does it. I don't remember if Shining Force 1 does that. But there's a fun number of characters in these RPGs. And eventually, we'll run out of Super Nintendo and Sega RPGs, and there's plenty of PlayStation RPGs that weren't voiced that are pretty good. I don't know what RPGs are coming up for like Switch and things like that. Like Origami King was a really good voice LP for me. I loved doing that voice LP. I thought most of those voices were solid. There were a couple that weren't great, but I thought a lot of them were solid, and I think I grew with my voicing from that game. So I'm really happy we did Origami King. Top 10 one-shots are out. Top 10 general games will be out for 2020 as well. And see what you think about those. Of course, I didn't play everything. I didn't play PlayStation. So I didn't get to play Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't get to play Ghost of Tsushima. What else was out there? Kojima's game, which I didn't care about anyway. It was on PC if I wanted to play it. Ghost of Tsushima. What's great? What's absolutely great is everyone forgot that The Last of Us 2 won Game of the Year. Everyone forgot. Why? Because Sephiroth happened. That's why. That's why everyone forgot. By the way, watch that Sephiroth video I made just to make me feel better about putting all the time into that. There was another 20 hours that need to be put in to make it perfect, but there was a point where like, you know what? The time for this joke has passed. We should just get it out already. And that's what happened. Main topic is about resolutions. And I think how about we think about resolutions differently? Because I feel like everyone fails resolutions. Or if you succeed, yay. But I think maybe there's a more constructive way to go about resolutions. And that is not putting a number to bridge, but putting in the steps to get there. I think maybe that's the resolution to do, because maybe that's easier to do, and so you can get there. So, let's say your resolution, of course, is I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to lose like 10 pounds. Very nebulous. Everything said there, minus the 10 pounds part. The thing, though, is you don't know how you're going to get to those 10 pounds. So I'd say the resolution should be, get a gym membership and actually use it, because that's money. You don't want to waste money. Of course, right now you can't utilize that, but in the future, after we all get vaccinated, you'd get a gym membership and go to the gym and work out. So the other way to do the resolution right now is buy bands or buy light weights or something like that. Buy a yoga mat so you can do stretches and certain things at home right now. Like, the resolution can be like, you will take 30 minutes or an hour to actually do this stuff every day. Another resolution can be studying up on dieting, studying up on how calorie counting works correctly, on macros, and all that stuff, and whether the keto is like a good idea or not. Honestly, those diets, they go back and forth with people. And the real answer to that is it's really on genetics. It's real on genetics. It's on whether your body's good for that or not. And that's something that really needs to get utilized more is when you go on something like a keto diet or an Atkins diet or some of the other diets like paleo, whatever, there are certain people, because of their genes, that'll work for. There are certain people that keto would be healthy to do. There are certain people that Atkins could work out for, while other people, it would just ruin their life. Like just studying up on diets and trying to understand what would work out for you. That can be a resolution. Just learning. Learning can be a resolution. I think that's simpler enough. Or if you have a better idea of that, then it's just like trying to stick to a meal plan. It's like coming up with a meal plan can be a resolution. Like coming up with that and sticking with it, that can be a resolution. Or the simple thing of resolution is like, I'll just eat less candy bars. Or I'll just drink less soda. Something like that. I remember when I was a teenager, like I drank soda all the time. And at some point I realized, you know what? I might be consuming way too much freaking sugar. So then I just went to like orange juice and apple juice. And I'm like, oh, that's still too much sugar. And then I went down to just water. I was like 16. I was like, I'm just do water. And I've been just doing water. And now I'm 34. Jesus Christ. Which, the funny thing is, everyone will go like, all right, so you want to lose weight. Like, so how about cutting out sodas? I'm like, I don't drink sodas. They're like, well, shit. That apparently is the number one suggestion to lose weight is to just cut out sodas. Because it is, extra calories and everything. It's just unnecessary calories. You're just getting more calories from just consuming drink. And yeah, that's just the main one that gets suggested all the time first, which is funny to me. Other resolutions. Okay, so other resolutions can be, like, say, you want to learn a thing. So it'd be just, well, then the resolution is to just do the first steps to that. Like, actually buy the things to learn the things. Like, for me, it was, not the best example was I wanted to learn the violin. So I'm like, all right, freaking buy a violin. I got it. I'm committed now. Tried to learn that thing for a year. I have failed. I got to know I can't do the violin. The problem with that was I went about it wrong. I'm like, I'll get the violin, I'll just play with it and I'll figure it out and I'll watch things online. And it didn't work out because one is the violin's too cheap, so you don't actually know what the sound is like. Because everyone who teaches violin, they got like $1,000 violin. So you never sound like them. And that's the truth is when you get a cheap violin, the sound's just not gonna be the same. And so unless you actually have the ear for it, you have no idea if you're doing it right or wrong. And so that was a mistake. Apparently the smart thing to do is learn the piano first, you'll understand music from there, and then you can go for something like the violin. I picked the hardest instrument first, that was my mistake. I went off the deep end. So this year, though I'm not doing it because I have other things I want to focus on, this year the resolution would be, like, buy a keyboard. Like maybe the little portable ones just to learn, or just buy a full-on keyboard. No, that's like 100 something. But just get the basic instrument, which is the piano. The piano has the lowest skill floor and the highest skill ceiling, arguably, because the piano can do amazing things. But it's a great basics learner to learn the basics, learn the fundamentals, and just be smart and understand music. So I'd say the resolution is to just buy a keyboard, buy like learning how to do music kind of thing, and you'll play it and you'll get a better idea how it all works, and then from there you can learn other instruments. That would be like the resolution there. Like these cost money is the problem, of course, some of these. But when you spend money, it commits you for sure. Like, when I buy something and it tastes awful, I'm like, well, I gotta finish it. I did pay for it. Let's do some examples with the channel, shall we? So last year, I was like, okay, let's make these my goals for the resolution goals. Let's, for the channel, get back up to 10,000. For Twitter, like, maybe get like 2,000. This one gets like 200. This one gets to 100 followers. And that was what I did. I went with that, and mixed results. Mixed results on that. I think it would be smarter to do the steps to actually attaining that instead of nebulously going like, this is what I want. So the resolutions for me this year with the channels are, it's things like, for the main channel, just high quality content. That is, if I don't feel like the video's got it, slow down, try again, make it better, and bring it harder. Like, that's the kind of idea there. Same thing with the streams. If I'm too tired, I shouldn't be forcing the stream, because I have streamed tired for sure. I've streamed sleepy. You've caught me sleepy before, I'm sure. Or if I just don't have the energy to bring it. And those streams suffer for it. So if I don't have the energy, maybe take a nap or just don't stream that night and then come back stronger the next time. Having the wherewithal to realize I should be doing that so that I can bring it. Another step to success is like the podcast. So the podcast, I'll sporadically mention like, hey, I got a podcast. So what I should do is I should have a daily tweet on the Kirby Dreamcast podcast Twitter saying like, hey, here's an episode we've done. Here's an episode we've done. So I'm going to sit down and use TweetDeck, which I never even considered using. I didn't realize how useful TweetDeck is. TweetDeck, you can schedule tweets. So I'm like, all right, so I can just schedule like a week's worth of tweets. And then bam, it's just every day for a week. They're just coming out. And like, there you go, I'm good. So just keep making that every week, or make it a month worth or something like that. And that'd be good. That'll give that channel some life there. That'll help with the podcast because something's actually advertising the podcast. For my art channel, it's just, well, drawing. Last year, the goal was draw like an hour a day, which is a good thing. This time, maybe more like 30 minutes, or just draw. Instead of giving myself deadlines, just draw. Just draw. I drew a good amount of stuff, but just draw. Just draw there when I got time and do it. Something like that. Just steps to get it done, and then when I put up posts and everything, that'll get attention, and there you go. I keep being adverse to doing a work in progress because I feel like, well, then you know what it is, and then, well, Whereas if I just do the finished product, you're like, wow, that looks really good. I'm like, I don't know if it's better to do work in progresses to the point or just only have the finished product, because I've always done just the finished product for the most part. I'm not sure what's better, if work in progress gets attention or not. That's what I'm wondering. I have no idea. Like, does it weaken the impact of the final product? For the main channel, for the main Twitter, there's no goal there. Just, the main Twitter is just do whatever I want. Forget it. Stop giving a goal to that one, because since I just give my thoughts randomly, I put things up there randomly, it's going to go up and down. It's going to go up and down. It's going to ebb and flow. That's just what's going to happen there. For the side channel, it's just make sure there's a video there every day. And since I play too much stuff, there will be a video there every day. It's just I need to be smarter and better about editing. I edited about 20 videos last night because that just piled up because I wasn't doing them for the holidays. So these are just examples. These are examples of how to do resolutions differently. Basically, it's like, you know what your actual goal is, but make the resolution the steps to get to that goal instead. So you're not just keeping track of your weight loss or things like that. Like say, yeah, your resolution are all these different steps that would lead to weight loss. But you're not paying attention to that specific number. Let your body tell you you're pulling it off. Because you'll notice when your pants are getting looser. You'll notice when your shirt's getting tighter on your biceps or things like that. You'll notice that eventually. If you're looking at the scale every day, you ain't going to notice crap. It's like watching a pot boil. It takes forever. It really does. Feels like physics should have a rule on that. An observation rule. That is everything. That is the vlog. We went longer. I am hungry. Why did I go so long? Alright. So that's the vlog. I had fun talking. Hope you have fun watching and listening. And that's what it's all about, is having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.